All right, here we go. The Scarlet and Great live pregame show. It's been a while. It's been a while for me, co-host Johnny here with co-host Florida Corey Thompson, the People's Champ. We have a football game. Finally, we have a football
Are we
game.
sure? Are we sure about that?
Well, until we get,
Until kickoff, maybe
Right.
even mid kickoff. Like no, forget it.
Yeah, instead of I don't believe it till they kick off, like I don't believe it until the game is over.
Yeah.
That there was an actual football game. Wow. So much going on here. Thank you guys for joining in. Please, if you're joining in, we're going to get some Q&As going. Drop where you're go ahead and comment in the comment section where you're watching from, what you want to talk about for the game. If at all possible, and you're watching via Facebook or you're watching via Periscope/Twitter, please jump over on the YouTube channel if at all possible and comment there. That really helps us out, what you want to see and what you want to talk about for this pregame line Q&A. Okay, here we go. First one. Isaiah, I'm nervous. Oh, dude, an OG listener from the show. Yeah.
He's right.
Yeah, I mean, he's for good reason, right? Like,
yeah.
Let me show you this that Corey drafted up for us. These are just some key names that are out. As you can see, we need some tackles. Like our starting tackles are out, who's actually both have played very well. And then the guy that, your starting tackles are out. Well, we're just going to get to see Paris Johnson early. Yes, this is like a recruiting spring game special, right? No. Okay. Okay, so is DeJuan Jones and Corey Thompson going to be the starting tackles?
Yes. Guys, I'm feeling. I still got pain on my hands from yesterday. Yeah. It's that really good pain. It's hard to get off your hands. Yes, guys, don't worry. I'm going to fill in at right tackle. All 195 pounds of me. We're good.
Oh, we're solid then. Especially, no Isaiah Prince flashbacks at all. Treft 88 Fostoria.
You'd be hoping for Isaiah Prince flashbacks with me at right tackle.
Fostoria, Ohio. Where is that? What kind of area? What are you close to? I'm obviously from Ohio. Corey's, family's from Ohio. I don't know that place. Let me know. Yeah, Corey, I was kind of thinking this is cool in a way. Like I thought it was a bad enough opponent, but I listened to your solo show. They're gaining some steam, so maybe this isn't the best opponent, especially with the way. Honestly, no opponent do I want to experiment with the way our defensive secondary is playing. I thought Rutgers, we could experiment with Rutgers. Okay.
We did, and look what happened.
Yeah, that's a good point. And even in the first, 3 quarters, I was like, I don't know. The Stars ain't even playing the best, but we look like we were just sleepwalking. But yeah, I don't want to experiment at all. So I thought this might have been, though, a decent, bad team to experiment with, get that like spring game, right? The spring game, you get to see the recruits. We're going to see Lathan Ransom. We're going to see.
Maybe we get to see Stroud or Miller at some point. You start to wonder. And I mean, this game's not going to happen that way, I don't think. But you just, because Michigan State early on was playing so bad, you're like, maybe it is a game we'll get to see Stroud or Miller.
Lathan Ransom, all these D-backs, all these offensive linemen, all the defensive linemen. No. I mean, this is not the game to do that. And like Corey, there's even backups. There's even backups in there. Oh,
Jeff, you never got an invite. We don't like you.
I do want to do this, guys. We want to bring fans onto the show for a brief segment of this.
We do want to say happy birthday to Trent too. I was planning on having him on the show last week because with the Illinois game, I knew you were busy. I was like, well, I can get a guest. I can get Trent. Happy birthday, Trent. Same birthday as Jim Tressel. And but yeah, we do want to get fans on the show, like Donnie's saying.
Yeah. Do you think Trent or Jeff is near a laptop right now and can keep their language appropriate?
Jeff, no.
No, that's a good point. On either, I don't think Jeff's ever seen.
And thank you, Mike. By the way, thank you, Mike. Appreciate the compliment, buddy.
Yeah, Isaiah's got some content for us. We've had bad luck with Sparty always ruining a great season. Yeah, what a spoiler. And it would be 2020-esque, right? Especially with Tough having a good season so far. I think this is the game for Justin to create his Heisman moments. He definitely needs it because Buckeyes out of sight, out of mind, right? He needs a spark. Last week didn't play. Week before, maybe it was better he didn't play for his Heisman campaign.
This would be a makeup game, but look, we've already missed too many games. I just don't see how. He could throw for 6 touchdowns today. It wouldn't matter. I hate to say that because I love Justin, but I had to know going into the season that Heisman chances were very slim because of the lack of games.
Yeah, and
now we're getting 6, 7 at most. Maybe 6 if we could schedule somebody else. If Michigan can get their stuff together for next week, I don't know.
Yeah, and is Michigan State even got enough brand recognition even more to where you can have Heisman moments against them? I mean, it would have to be it would just have to pop on the highlight reel, right? It would have to be Johnny Manziel escaping 3 tackles and then running for a touchdown type.
It would have to be a Johnny Manziel type performance. And I do want to say Mike is asking if Miller's sliding over to Sunday. Yes, he is, according to Kevin Noon at Buckeye Grove.
Yeah, as per Kevin Noon, Buckeye Grove. Could send Kevin an invite, but
oh, Mr. Ohio is here. Oh no, who would?
Dun 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 dun.
He didn't even want football this year.
Dun dun dun. The Imperial March. Mr. Ohio and my wife share a ringtone on my phone. It's the Imperial March.
Nice. Your wife. Okay.
No, she doesn't really.
Not Big Girl would have a plotting sound on your ringtone.
Whatever sound a hippopotamus makes.
There you go.
All right. So you guys let anyone on here? Mike, we might let you on here. If you not anyone, there's some sort of vetting process. Highest bidder, that sort of thing.
If your name is Jeff, no, forget it.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Clint OG says Dwan Jones at left tackle, probably.
Yep, probably true. Who's going to play right tackle is the question. Is it going to be Max Ray for the once? Or do they just use one of the many guards that they have to slide them over? Or do they use a true freshman like Grant Toutant, Trey LaRue? I don't see Trey LaRue, but Grant Toutant or Josh Fryer, who's 6'6". Who's actually impressive in camp. Who do they? I don't know. I'm not looking at Twitter right now. I'm sure the guys who were there are going to start broadcasting who's getting the first team reps.
That's true. Yeah, I think of Ray. I think Stewart says Ray. I think it's got to be Max Ray. I think that's the easy low-hanging fruit. Maybe we finally get to see Corey. You've been saying first of all, Corey and Jeff have been saying all along they hoped that Tuff Borland was incapacitated with an illness, and that happened. So maybe. Oh
wow, Max Ray is starting per Mr. Ohio there. Okay.
Corey was looking it up. He didn't even catch what I just saw or catch what I just said. No. I said you and Jeff have been saying all along you've been hoping for something bad to happen to Tuff Borland so he couldn't play. And
never said that. You're a jerk and you're a liar. And I never said that.
You didn't say that.
Jeff absolutely said that.
Yeah, I was gonna say you didn't say that. Jeff didn't say it though.
Yeah, Jeff did, but Jeff, in his morbid sense of humor, probably wanted something really bad.
Well, hey, check it out.
Yeah. There you go.
So yes, to your point, Stuart. Yes,
Dallas Gant in the middle, probably. Maybe Hilliard, but I think Dallas Gant will be in the middle.
I would love to see a game, though, with just 70, 85% snaps with Hilliard. Because we've all wanted to know. He plays well. And he's got that backup. We have that backup mentality with him, right? Everybody wants to see the backup because we haven't seen the backup look bad yet. Well, snap count's low for Hilliard. He hasn't had enough snaps to look too bad, but he looked really good in what he does have. So I'd like to see the snap count go up. And even if he looks good on 8 or 9 out of 10, that's still really good. So, obviously it probably means increased snaps for several people, right? But I think the bulk, maybe like you said, Gant, Hilliard, maybe some Mitchell. I think Hilliard is the top of the pecking order out of those guys.
Yeah, and I think that's Mike's question about does Mitchell see the field today at linebacker? Yeah, he will. He'll play. He plays well now, I think, but he doesn't. He's not permanent in the middle. He's actually the one who gave up that long pass play to Indiana that I thought was Browning because I didn't look closely enough. But because he has the same kind of body frame that Browning has, but nowhere near the athleticism. So
right.
He just passed him off to safety. Nobody was there. So it is what it is. But yeah, Mitchell will play today. I just don't know how much.
Oh, by the way, Stuart and Casper and Jeff, Get over on YouTube. You guys know better than that. YouTube, Mr. Ohio.
Jeff doesn't know anything.
Get over on YouTube, Scarlet and Great Empire. Like and subscribe, please. Leave us your comments. Also, Corey, talk a little bit about this receiving core that could give us some problems because of I guess they do good on deep balls.
Yeah, they got two guys averaging 23 yards a catch. That'll make you all feel good. I mean, like Ricky Wright and Jalen Naylor. Naylor's a speedster for what it's worth. He's a track guy, and they're both getting downfield. The other guy, Jalen Reed, is like a possession type guy. He's going to frustrate you. Like 3rd and 8, he gets a 9-yard gain type of thing. That'll be interesting to see that if how well our linebackers underneath routes are covered for a guy like Jalen Reed, because then we're going to have to put guys like with Wade and Banks that are thankfully playing on islands against these guys that get out deep, and Johnny's getting that look. He's getting that look at his face like, no. And there's Bill. And the issue is, you got to put him on islands at times, and you got to trust Hooker to make the right read. I expect to see some big plays? Yes. Probably 3 or 4. I told this to John, our Michigan State fan friend from East Lansing, if you want to check him out. He was helping me prep for the show. Johnny's about to cry. He was helping me prep for the show. And he was saying openly, is like, those guys have been great going. I said, well, you're probably going to get about four on us, probably 4 30-plus yard passes on us. And he was like, really, that many? I'm like, yeah, our secondary has been very, even when the corner's in position, they don't make plays. So, and we don't trust Hooker to make the right read necessarily. And much of the discussion this week from the rumor mill was that Proctor would move back to single high and maybe play Ransom in that box safety spot. I'm okay with trying that, but Proctor's not available. So Hooker is absolutely staying back there. I don't know another guy on the roster who's a single high guy. And I'd be curious to see who they put in that box safety. It's got to be Ransom, right, in that box safety spot in place of Proctor.
Yeah, everybody's been saying Ransom. Yes, Dennis, thanks for joining. As we did say, we think Justin Hilliard is going to get a lot of increased reps and hopefully look really good. Back to Ransom. Yeah. I think that's probably your box safety guy, or I don't know. I feel like using last week I thought it was going to be a nice bye week and we could implement some stuff. I think this defense needs to go back to cover 2. I feel like that's what we used to play a lot when Kerry was back here. You have a guy, to your point, Marcus Hooker, who is a single high guy one safety, 1-1-1, one deep safety. You have to be trusted, and he can't be trusted. So, give him another guy back there. I don't know if that's enough time though to implement this with this weird, we can't practice. Oh, everybody and their brothers got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they did have 2 weeks. Maybe of course, the cancellation of the Illinois game was literally last minute. So, they might have just practiced for Illinois that entire week, not really changing things up, and then all of a sudden, no game. So I'd be curious. That's a crazy way to have to handle these things, right? When you got a bye week, it's obvious. Okay, we got that week to plan and implement new things or try to adjust some things. But with a game that gets canceled out of nowhere, you just got done preparing for Illinois. Now it's like, all right, turn around, look at Michigan State. It's like, how do you turn it off and on like that? That's got to be curious to see how Ohio State handles that this week.
Yeah, and Corey, to be honest, and this kind of goes back to all your points you made in your defense of Coach Combs about this weird wonkiness, no season, there is a season. That one to me isn't as weird because I felt like they were planning the whole time to be at least practicing anyway, as if there was going to be a season when they were allowed. But this really speaks to your point to just be like game, no game, practice, no practice. You're not getting first team reps. Okay, now you are, because the other guy's not allowed to look at anybody or see anybody because he'll spread the virus. Mentally, I don't care if you're still getting some reps in, and mentally, that's got to be such a roller coaster game plan. This is probably, I would imagine, there's going to be a lot of coaches that come back and say, at least in the Big Ten, SEC, all these other schools not having as many issues, but at least in the Big Ten, I bet hindsight, you'll have coaches talk about this was the hardest year schematically and personnel wise to prepare for pre and during the season of their careers. I think that's hands down, right? That's got to be the case. And I don't expect to see Ohio State look dynamic for 4 quarters because of these reasons. And there's just such a difference. Bama seems to be getting better every week in separating themselves.
That's true.
But they get to play every week. They know to come dead grandmas, no dead grandmas, dead coaches, dead players, dead fans, dead mascots, dead cheerleaders, virus, no virus. They're playing football. They could, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The stadium could implode. Alabama's going to play football in the parking lot every week. Look, Corey, it just means more. It just means more. And you know what? I welcome every Big Ten joke, SEC means more joke. I welcome them all this year until we get to our conference fix. We can't be that well-oiled machine each week, getting better, more game reps, all that. If we keep playing this, I can't play, he can't play, she can't play, no substitute game. Even substitute games would be weird, right? Because you're preparing for a new opponent all of a sudden. But it's better than not playing and then making everybody sit out. I don't see being a little pessimistic here, but I feel like a realist. Mm-hmm. I don't know that we'll ever get to see the peak with this team. Because
no, I agree with you. Yeah.
How can you? How can you?
Thank you, Big Ten. Yeah. I think if we had done what, it's pretty ridiculous, really. That's Jeff again. Anyway, that's what his name is in my fantasy football league. Anyway, I think that's Jeff. Is that Ant? Could that be Ant? I don't know.
I might be. I beat whoever it was last week, and I don't beat very many people. Thank you, Tyreek Hill.
That's true. Anyway, yeah, it's we got people in the region like Cincinnati and Notre Dame played 8 and 9 games, and they've had stalls and cancellations. It's so utterly freaking ridiculous, and then yet. Because now the COVID bug is starting to hit the Big Ten a little bit. What's the national response? Is they shouldn't have played. Like, are you just? I mean, how do you like walk down the street? There's other schools playing, and playing a lot. What do you mean we shouldn't have played? This is utterly ridiculous. I don't know what it is. A lot in the media they have against us actually trying to play football, but I'm actually proud of Ohio State. Going into this game, knowing that their starting offensive tackles are out, starting center out. When you have your left tackle and your center out, that's huge, especially for blitz pickup and things like that.
But what about if your right tackle's out too?
It's even worse. I mean, especially when your right tackle's playing at an all Big Ten level, So, in losing Tough Borland, I mean, we've ripped on him in the past, but he's had a good season. So you don't want. I think he's more replaceable than those other guys, obviously. Like Dallas Gann, I expect to play pretty well. I assume he'll be the starting middle linebacker, but maybe it's Hilliard. I don't know. But that being said, you got look in the offensive line. You're going into a team. Michigan State's playing with house money. You're going into a game where Max Ray is probably going to be your right tackle. He has barely played even in mop-up duty, and you got a Heisman type. Top NFL style quarterback in Justin Fields that is your offense. That passing game is your offense. Here's something to think about, Johnny. Now, pass blocking concepts are probably hard. Blitz pickups are probably harder than what y'all would argue run blocking concepts maybe. Do you think we actually try to build off what we did against Indiana and just shove Master Teague down their throats?
Yeah, I would think so, maybe, but can you again? Well, this is not a Pat Narduzzi front. You looked at the numbers. How does Michigan State defend the run? I mean, are they decent at it? Like, because I just don't trust our run game that much. But if it is good enough to run over a decent run, pretty good,
solid run defense
against Indiana, then yeah, maybe. But like again, our tackles are good in the run game and pass game. I feel like both. You think about tackles, you think pass pro, but they're responsible to run protect, right? Like looking back at Isaiah Prince, part of the reason I think he was on the field is because he was actually a good run blocker. Yeah, I felt like, terrible in the past, but, will we be able to run the ball? I almost wonder, Corey, do you just see a lot of quick stuff? Quick out and not a lot of screens.
That hasn't been our game. It'd be a change. I mean,
it'd have to. Yeah, I wonder if it's like out of necessity, bubbles on the outside, stuff like that. toss sweeps, just because, you're not going to throw screens that involve the O-line in very much because you have to practice that a lot. These guys not even getting first team reps. So,
yeah. I mean, I will say that's actually pretty cool to see. Bryson Shaw might be playing single high today.
I wanted to say his name when you said who else, but even I didn't believe.
Yeah, well, he just barely played.
Well, yeah.
But actually, I kind of like the attempt because he's got the speed. The speed's not an issue, and he's laid people out against Rutgers. You know what? At this point, if he plays, even if he cuts into hooker snaps, I'm good with it. Let's see what he can do.
Because what would you say, right? You would say, well, maybe he's young and wouldn't understand the read, and somebody would get behind him, and I would say, so no difference, right?
Yeah. Okay. What's your point? Well, you've been saying it for weeks, man. It's just like, what can they do any worse? Can we get guys in there to do any worse?
Yes. Ooh, here's a good one. You're gonna love this.
Is Urban coaching today?
Oh, it's not real. It's Larry Johnson, but it's really Urban.
I will say
this would be the game you would do it.
Yeah, I agree. I will say this.
Urban's back there like, just let me at him.
Finally get to see the fields I want to see.
Let me at him. JT's got another. This year doesn't count as eligibility. I can play JT.
Yeah, Jet. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Yeah. But no, that's actually, you know what? I think Matthew's right. You're going to have to adapt and do quick passes today, slant patterns. Our guys can get open. Olave. Now, Shakir Brown's a really good corner. Xavier Henderson's a really good safety. They got some good players in the defensive backfield. They also have a guy, Groche, I believe his name is. He's a freshman corner. He's been playing pretty well from Ohio. But that being said, you got to believe the quick slants, the crossing patterns, a little shallow crosses, the mesh. They got to be working that today, I would imagine. Going deep might not be as big an option if you can't if you can't keep Justin Fields upright back there. I don't know. Maybe Max Ray surprises. I do believe Jones is good. I've never really quite seen him as a left tackle. I know he played left tackle last year a little bit, but it was a little shaky at times. Now he's going against the first team pass rush again in Michigan State, which again, as a team, is playing on house money. I have to keep repeating that because they're not coming into this game going to be playing uptight, worried about winning. They just want to come at us and test themselves because this is the year for rebuilding for them. We're trying to play for a title, so if anybody's going to be uptight, it's probably on our side. Especially with a bunch of young pups ready. Maybe the young pups are. Mark Gibler even talked about it. Maybe they're excited about the opportunity they get to play. Maybe the young pups are ready to play and they're excited. Like, wow, I get to finally come in a real game. It's so many variables here. This is what COVID has done to us this year. There's so many variables this year that you have to consider. I don't even know what to think right now. Would Johnny? It would actually be a shock to me if the offense comes out, puts up 35 in the first half.
Oh, yeah, it would be a shock to me. I'd be shocked to me if Publishers Clearinghouse showed up on my door as well. I mean, I'd be about the same odds. Hey, real quick, I want to say Jackson Ray, my nephew, I was going to have him on the show last week with me live because I was at his house and they were so graciously going to let me record my the pregame show, our pregame show from there. Jackson is a diehard sports fan. He's a Packers fan, Corey. Awesome. He lives deep in the bluegrass in Southern Kentucky. He is a big time loyal UK football and basketball program, but he listens to this show because he likes his uncle. And he's smart.
That's where he messed up.
Yeah, he did mess up. He's an awesome kid. Jackson, if you're still there, please go ahead and everybody, please say hi to Jackson. He's my nephew. Like I said, I forget. How old are you, Jackson, now? 19?
He said 6. No,
6. That's Jackson's prediction on over-under penalties.
I know, I'm kidding.
I'm going to have to try to – I couldn't have him on the show this week because he's out doing good work, helping out the church, where he attends church today. Yeah, there's Jackson. He's 14. There's Bill saying hi. Everybody say hi to Jackson. Jackson, they're giving you some shade. Everyone has a flaw. Just kidding. So thank you guys for showing him some love. We're going to get him on here because when his mom told me he still listens to your show, and I was like I thought it was cool. He'd listen to it a few times, but it's Ohio State. He doesn't root for the Buckeyes, so who cares? And he's still listening. That's awesome, Corey. So
we are impacting the youth.
Yeah. Hey, Jeff says loyal in UK
That
football.
shows how tough the kid is, man.
He's tough. Oh, he gets his dad's really resilient fan. You know, his dad's a really resilient fan and is a glass half full type of guy. So, hey, Corey, yeah, 35 in the first half. Like, you got to have some defensive. You got to remember a couple years ago when we didn't beat Michigan State by very much, but like literally every time they snapped the football, they vomited and like just kept coughing the football up. And Drew Christmas kept penning them. If they do that, maybe we can. If we do that, maybe we could put up 35 defensive scores and stuff. But again, to your point, I just throw the ball deep against us. Their game plan, Coach Yost, blitz all night. I would. I tell them it's coming.
We get them in 3rd and 20. It's like, well, they could still get it, you know.
Yeah, and then I'd love to see the stat. If you throw a deep ball against Ohio State, 1 yards per attempt, not even completion, just attempt, and your odds of completing it. So it's basically like if you call a deep pass versus
might
Ohio
even get a
State,
PI out of it.
Yeah, if you call a deep pass against Ohio State, what you're probably averaging picking up like 15 yards. You probably are. I mean, so I would do that too. Because you said Rocky's deep ball's okay, right?
It's not bad. I mean, it's not great, but it's not. It works. It's
not Penix level.
No, I wouldn't put it on Penix level. No. But I will say this: his underneath routes might be on Penix level.
Okay.
Which is not a good thing. So
yeah, which is you'll hit it against Ohio State.
You'll hit it against Ohio State. You know. Well, no, Penix didn't even really hit the underneath routes on it against Penn State against Ohio State, even except when they were open. I'm talking about sideline patterns and things like that.
Oh yeah. The tougher intermediate stuff.
Yeah, those little out patterns and little comebacks. I mean, those are tough, but he can just loft the ball up in the air, and it doesn't take much. You know, our guys could be in position; it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, maybe they're tired of hearing us saying that. We can only hope, right, that they're tired
of it. Then shut us up.
Yeah, exactly. It's just got to be. I don't know what in the world you see. Probably a heavy dose. You can't do the long developing run plays or long developing pass plays, right? You just can't this game.
Also, LeBron is sabotaging us, according to Isaiah.
Yes. Well, that's what LeBron does, right? He tries to help things and he makes them worse unless it's an actual basketball game.
Yeah, fair point.
Like, hey, I'm going to be the GM of this team. Oh, so the coach is like, oh, you mean you're going to get me fired?
Yeah, within 30 games. Yeah.
Oh, you mean you're going to get a bunch of players in here?
We're only 27-11. Let's fire the guy.
Yeah, let's make us get all your guys in, then make us pay them. So now we can't afford anybody else. And then we have discombobulation, and then it'll be my fault.
He basically runs teams like teams have been running the New York Knicks for a while.
Yeah, say, LeBron, we need you to be a basketball player. Make your team.
You're one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Just be the basketball. Yeah.
Put the ball in the hoop, pass it to open guys, play great defense, and get a lot of rebounds. That's all.
We'll even let you coach a little, but
Yeah, absolutely. I am going to actually try to bring somebody on. Okay.
Jackson?
No, Jackson, like I said, he's out helping with the church. He's probably on his iPad.
Not Jeff. Please not Jeff.
Oh gosh, no. I don't hate you that much or my own show.
He hates me. I don't know what I did.
You I know what you did.
Oh, that's true. Hey, I was lonely that night.
Oh, what's Isaiah say? They advertise his cleats. Well, maybe 2020 is not the year to mess around. 2020 is not the year to mess around. I mean, it's been in the back of my mind, Corey, that like, what if Michigan, it would be the most 2020 game thing ever if Michigan played spoiler this year of all years.
Yeah. Jeez, dude. I'm about to cry.
I mean, because that it's not like
I actually figured Michigan's going to end up playing the game of their lives against us. I still believe that.
Yeah. Hey, can anybody help Kevin out? So he's having an issue with his TV provider, and he wants to get live coverage of the game. Okay, we got a fan. Now bear with me, because when I click to add him, it's going to get wonky for a second. Okay, so
it's pretty par for the course.
Oh, jeez.
There we go.
Hey guys, how's it going?
All right. Well, I'll see y'all later.
Oh,
can I reveal this? Can I reveal your identity?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, this is Bill, big time listener of the show. He's the same one commenting. He actually used to live right like 7 minutes from me via Google Maps. 7 minutes.
Then he got
me.
smart, moved away from you.
Oh, absolutely. It's weird. We met out here in Virginia. Both realized we did the same job in the Navy. Realized we were both born in Dayton, Ohio. Never knew each other. He would come over for all the Buckeye games. He and his wife have moved back to Ohio, so I don't have my normal Buckeye traditions, right? Well, so maybe it's a good thing he moved. I wouldn't be able to do pregame shows if he still lived here because I was cooking wings all morning, usually most of the time. But Bill, you got any observations or comments, and this guys in the future? This is what we want to do. We want to bring a fan on like every show and let you guys interact. Bill,
except for Jeff.
Well, thanks for letting me come on. And it's nice to see Corey. I mean,
What's up, Bill?
Half see Corey, I guess, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Corey Wilson Thompson III.
Right. No, I miss being in Virginia, but I just love Dayton so much. I just had to move back. So
said no one ever.
No one ever leaves. No one ever comes back. Apparently, I'm gonna don't follow that rule. So, hey,
well, what do you think about the game though? For like this weirdness, like everybody, did you
assuming there is a game? We're 15 minutes away.
Yeah, let me show you. Did you see the list? This is just key players that are out. I mean, we're down both starting tackles and one of the guys that would have filled in for them. We're down our center. We're down our probably best safety. We're down the starting middle linebacker is the way I'll put it. So
he's been one of our better players this year.
He's played well. He has played well. Front seven's played well. So like going into that, Bill, are you ready to throw your remote through the wall? Or I know you just got a nice new house and you just fixed everything and it's pristine.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you ready to mess it up again?
No, not quite. If anything, with the tackles, I think this will be good for Fields. You complain every single week how you wish he would just run. You complain every week you wish you would get rid of the ball. If anything, this will help him out. Help him focus on looking to see the coverages. It'll help him to have to get rid of the ball. It'll be good. It's not too hard of a game. I don't think that he'll just get demolished, but I think it'll be good for him.
That is an interesting take. You know why? Because like for growth, like baptism by fire, right?
Right.
Hey, Justin, you're gonna be under duress. So now
there'll be a lot of Max Pro today, though. You know that, like a lot of tight ends staying in, running back staying in. There's going to be like basically throwing three receivers into that coverage. Say, okay, give them time.
Well, that's the thing, though. Does Max Protect even work though? Is it Max Protects with the three?
Probably better than regular protection 5-on-4. I mean, I'd have to say because the communication problems with Myers and Miller have been bad this year. Now you put Miller into the center position with a new guard, which is probably Matt Jones, maybe Enoch Vimahi. I mean, do you expect that to get any better?
No, and that's what Max Protect probably buys some time. I don't know how much time, but like Justin, there's going to be jailbreaks, and you're going to have to just go get 6 yards. And don't get yourself hurt. You're going to have to balance a lot. Don't run when you don't have to, but run when you should. And that's going to be a quick decision. And don't take unnecessary hits. Like that's a lot. But honestly, if that could be your Heisman moment. If the O-line is bad enough that he has to just be otherworldly great, and the writers and the sports columnists look at it with nuance and say he was in a shambles of an O-line and look how good he looked, just having to will this team to victory. Bill, I think you might have uncovered
the secret.
Yeah. You that might be the secret to a Heisman moment if there is any path to one.
Yeah, I mean, he has the skill, he has the talent. We know it. We saw it last year. We've seen it this year. He's on his way. I think what's really going to get hit, though, is the run game. I think the run game's going to have a hard time today, if anything.
Again?
Well, they got better. Master Teague the Turd is like the best running back ever,
True.
And last game, we saw it. He was the best, better than Zeke, better than everybody.
My question is, does Fields have a couple of Julian Fleming, Chris Olave moments where he just heaves it up in the air, like, let's just hope for the best?
Probably. I mean, maybe. I just don't know. I just don't know how. I'm thinking, okay, maybe these guys are good run blockers and we just maul people. They're Ohio State talent, but you know how it is with backup O linemen. And seeing a Michigan State front that should at least, I don't know, but maybe we have the 2017 game again, the Mike Weber game, where we just run up the middle and they just look like pedestrian defenders and they get blocked and wiped out. So I don't know. And this is where the people you do have really need to step up. I think Trey Sermon could finally have a game where he tells people like, shut up. I'm here now. Now, do I think that
I don't know, he just accepted a Senior Bowl invite. He's like, I'm here, but I'm gone. So
no, but I mean, like, I have arrived. This is what you've been waiting for.
With his shortened season, then like the 80% of the season gone, he's arrived.
Yeah, well, with his elusiveness, right? That would be what you would hope for is him. They're making some people miss on a jailbreak. So see what we got here. Matthew says 25.
One-legged Matthew, yes.
Oh, is that who this is? Get
him
out of here.
I know.
2 tight end sets, quick slants, get the ball out under 3 seconds. Defense shows some young blood on the back end. Keep the play in front of you. Well, that sounds good in theory, Matthew, but everything you just said is clearly not possible. If it were possible, teams would have done it already. And we are at the Ohio State University, and we would have done. Corey, you can't keep deep safeties can't keep plays in front of them. You know this.
That's not possible. Jordan Fuller was terrible at it.
That's how you really feel.
Yeah, no, I miss Jordan really, really. I know he's making bank in the NFL, but Jordan, please come back. No, Hooker is biting on issues. I mean, Matthew's right in theory, but apparently Hooker is just like, he's like, I don't know how to put it without sounding insulting, but he's just I guarantee they're telling, hey, keep the play in front of you, clean it up, and I can get that pick. I can cover that guy in the slot. I can get that.
Yeah, it's like, no, there's a guy going deep. Yeah, but I could run up this. If they throw it to the seam, I could just absolutely decapitate this dude. Yeah.
You are not the box safety. We need you back.
If they throw it there.
Yeah. Sorry, one of the questions y'all been asking since the start of the season is if you could have one player come back for the season, and you listed all these, all the people, all the great players, all the players that were drafted last year. You think Fuller would be that guy?
I think so, actually. Yeah.
I
mean, Chase is right there. Don't get me wrong. Having that monster pass rush is big, but Fuller is just so underappreciated back there.
Yeah. Honestly, with the way Wade is struggling, I almost say you can say Okudah and not be wrong. You're never wrong to say a pass rusher like Chase Young. Okudah would help clean a lot of things up. But Fuller is like the one I kind of lean toward because I'm like, yeah, but everything just all that back end stuff, everything gets better with him back there.
Yeah.
I
don't think you can go wrong with any of those three.
The game completely broke open against Clemson when Wade got ejected and Fuller moved to the slot, and we had Proctor as a single high. That's when that's when Trevor Lawrence could go run deep and nobody's there to clean it up. There's just having him back there was such a safety valve that was so underappreciated by last year's defense. That's why I give Kerry a little bit of leeway. I agree with Johnny. The defense should be better than what it is, but look, you already know the other guys you're replacing, like Young and Okudah and Arnett, who I think surprised a lot of people. But replacing Fuller has been probably one of the biggest challenges for Kerry Combs. It's like I need a guy back there who I don't have to babysit. I can just trust him to do the right thing, and we don't have that.
Hey guys, you're saying all these players, none of them played on Orlando. Pace hasn't played.
Orlando Pace today would be helpful.
Yeah, but
even at 50 or whatever he is.
Damon, we're talking about players from last year's team. But yeah, Orlando Pace, put him on any he definitely, like you said, today it would be very, very helpful. We're about out of time, guys. I know you guys got to go get settled in to get the game going. You got like 8 minutes or 7 minutes before the game now. If there's even going to be one, COVID. I want to thank all you guys for listening. Corey, thanks for pulling it together. I know you were going to have to work, then you didn't, so you came in the last minute. Thank you so much. Yeah. Faked an illness. Bill, thank you for coming on. Give our best to your family, and let's go watch the game. Maybe we'll get to see you again for a post game. Maybe at least one of us. I don't know yet.
One last thing. Wait. Jeff's bringing something up. Look at this. Is this true, Jeff? Are you pulling our leg on this?
Oh, sorry.
This one. Yeah. You're killing me, Johnny. You're killing me.
I didn't know you had control as well. I didn't know you had control.
Jeff, are you? No, I'm asking you sincerely. I know I mess with Jeff a lot. Jeff, are you being serious about that? I'm not watching Twitter.
Show.
I don't think that's true about Dennis. I don't think. Well, now Matthew is saying half the coaches are gone.
Can we just win today? We don't need to blow them out. Can we just win? I don't care if it's a 1-point win. Just win.
Just get a safety.
Get a safety. Shut the lights off and run.
I did not know that about Dennis. Madison is.
Gosh.
You know what's going to make Hooker better? His safeties coach not being there.
Maybe. It might.
Maybe that is. When we find out that's been the problem the whole time. Barnes is like, look. I know Combs says to stay back, but listen, I'm the captain now. Okay.
All right, guys, I got to go throw up. And then
I'm gonna go cry for a little while.
Throw up some more. Appreciate you guys. Always. Goodbye. God bless. Go Bucks.
Go Bucks.